Hello Scorpio, welcome to your weekly tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, and consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And the first message that we have today, interestingly, is this Hierophant and this Knight of Cups. So that is going to be our starting point today, okay? And definitely try to be open and receptive, and I ask you to try to connect directly with each of these cards. Use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide, okay? We're going to continue with our Dove and Serpent spread, and as I lay these cards out, I also want to say that if there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, Scorpio, please let me know in the comments, okay? All right, we're going to finish up here. A lot of interesting energy right away. We see a lot of major arcana on the path of the Dove here. This is a lot of very intense forces surrounding us. Okay, we're going to do a mystery card, a bonus card, a confirmation card. We're going to use the Antique Anatomy Tarot Deck. A lovely deck that I don't really get to use as often as I would like. We're going to take one card. We're going to leave it right there. We're not going to look at it until the very end of the reading. And hopefully at the end that will tie everything together and give us the missing piece or give us the confirmation that we need, okay? So looking over here, we have major couple of water court cards. Over here we have water and fire and a couple of earth court cards. Very interesting. Water and earth, they tend to get along okay. They're not the best of friends, but there's generally not any problem between those elements. The first card that we started with today is this Hierophant card. So I feel like you're in the position of, you're in kind of a leadership role, but you have a strong teacher kind of vibe this week. Okay, now I don't know if you are a teacher or if you are in some kind of a mentorship role or an instructor or somebody who is in charge of training or in charge of guiding other people. Now this could be someone who's focused on their parenting, right? It could be that you're responsible for some little ones. It could be that you are kind of a mentor, a benefactor to some younger generations of people. Okay, it could be family. It could be something going on at the workplace too, where you're maybe in charge of training, or you are an instructor of some kind. Could be that you're a teacher. I'm getting really strong like mentor vibes from you this week, okay? So I think whatever the situation is, whatever's going on right now is in some way involving this energy that you have, this teacher kind of thing that we're involved with, okay? And I'm kind of feeling, because we have these earth cards and we got these water cards here, we have all this major arcana, I really feel like it's something that has to do with not a conflict, right? Because remember, the water and the earth, they generally get along. They're not the best of friends. So I feel like there's just this very, very friendly relationship with someone in this environment, in regards your mentorship, your teacher role. Maybe this is your profession. Maybe you're a professor. If it's some sort of a training or mentorship, if it's within the family, if this is talking about some children or grandchildren or something like that. Some dynamic where you are in that kind of mentor, training, leadership, teacher kind of role, okay? So I feel like with the conflict between the water and the earth, there is, again, it's not a conflict per se. It's two energies that are kind of both doing their own thing and kind of stepping on each other's toes, right? There's no real conflict. There's no real animosity. Everyone's pretty friendly. but there's just like some rather subtle toe-stepping, I guess, right? There's just some subtle behaviors that are maybe a little passive-aggressive, that maybe are trying to, in some ways, manipulate the situation or mold the situation in a way that doesn't, it's not direct, it's very indirect, right? And I think that there is perhaps this water sign person represented by this Knight of Cups. Could be a water sign person, could be Cancer specifically. But what I am feeling with these two cards together, now these are the two cards that jumped out of the deck as I was shuffling. I feel like this Knight of Cups person is someone who is very friendly, right? Would never do anything to you directly, would never say anything abrasive or aggressive or mean or out of place or out of pocket, would never do anything like that, right? A very personable energy, a very friendly person. But I feel like they're imposing on your structure in some way, right? It's almost as if you've got your workspace all set up, you've got your training venue, you've got your classroom or something, all put together, all ready to go. And this person will come in, you go to the bathroom or you go have lunch or something, this person will kind of tiptoe in and start rearranging stuff. Do you know what I mean? It may not be that literally, but I feel like they are maybe not even realizing that they're kind of imposing on you or stepping on your toes. Now, this could be, if it's in the context of a family, this could be another family member. It could be an in-law, maybe a mother-in-law, father-in-law. It could be siblings, But I feel like they just kind of wait till you're out of the room, and then they come in and change some stuff around. It's almost like you go into the next room, and before you know it, your mother-in-law is like, rearranging your cupboards, putting the food where it should go, putting the plates where they belong, right? Because they feel like they know better, but they would never have the audacity to be direct and say, I don't agree with what you're doing, let's do it my way. And I think they don't do that because they know that you would not stand for that. I think you're being represented by this earth energy. Now, I know that sounds counterintuitive, right? Because of Scorpio, you're a water sign. I don't think the court cards here are representing the astrological makeup of the players involved. Okay, now that might be an unconventional thing to say. Typically, I would say that this water is you, Scorpio, and this earth is maybe an earth sign person somewhere else. But I feel like the earth on the path of the serpent here is really representing your, I was going to say your stubbornness, but it's not really a stubbornness. This is you really being confident and not being a pushover, not being a doormat. This is you in this kind of very firm and confident earth energy that is not going to allow anyone to come in and be that kind of passive-aggressive, or it's almost like they're too friendly to your face because they're kind of doing something sneaky behind your back, right? So that's why I feel that there's maybe a swap of the elemental energy here, okay? And not only that, but we have this Hierophant card, which is representing you and the type of energy and the type of role that you have right now. And the Taurus energy is strong earth energy with this Hierophant card. And this connects you even more with the earth that we see on the path of the serpent. Okay. So again, I feel like you're somebody who very much likes to teach. You like to help other people come to the same realizations that you've come to, right? I really feel this kind of mentorship with you. And I don't know if you have students or if you have, people that are taking instruction from you in some other way. Again, could be children or grandchildren or something, But I feel like you have a lot of wisdom to impart. You have a lot of knowledge and experience of life. And for you to allow someone to just come in and directly say that you're doing things wrong, is an absolute absurdity, right? You'd be open to people giving you suggestions, but for someone to just come and directly say that you're doing things wrong, that your plates need to be in a different cupboard, well, that's kind of unheard of with you. And I think that this person knows that, this Knight of Cups person. And that's why they're kind of doing it indirectly. That's why they're waiting till you leave the room. They're going behind your back, and I feel like they're just rearranging things. You know what I mean? And they're kind of subverting you in that way. And you may walk back into the classroom and may not realize right away that things have been changed, but somewhere down the line you'll notice the change, and you won't really know when it happened or where it came from. Right? I think that you've had experiences like that in the past. In fact, here's this moon energy. And you've probably had experiences, I think recently, maybe 6 months or so, within that time frame, where there's been some unexpected events. Something that you have organized or structured, something that you've given form to, something that you've arranged, is somehow days later changed. It's different. It's been altered. And I think that's probably really perplexed you, not knowing if you made a mistake and you just kind of forgot that you had changed it, if you did it wrong in the first place, or if there's some other kind of sinister force that's at work here, right? I think all along it's this water person. Now they may be, like I said, they may be a Cancer, they may be a water sign, but I think the water that we're talking about here represents their subtlety, right? Represents their willingness to be very friendly and personable, right? Very warm and generous to your face, but just like water, they'll kind of find their own way around, you know? And for some reason, they feel like they know better. It could be really, in all honesty, with this Knight of Cups, it could be that they do feel that they know better. I think in some ways they are jealous of the types of relationships that you have. They're jealous of the kind of confidence that you have. They're jealous of the way that you are able to connect with people, bring other people together. We have this Lover's card right here at the top of the Path of the Dove. But we have this Prince of Cups down here at the bottom. I think we're talking about the same person here. I think they have two sides to them. That outward, very friendly, very supportive, maybe just pouring praise and love on you, right? But secretly, I think that they are envious of the way you conduct yourself, the confidence you have, this earth energy, this Taurus Hierophant energy. I think they're a little bit jealous of that, and it might be a little bit of intentional sabotage. But I think really it is their envy and I'm almost feeling a bitterness, you know? I'm almost feeling that they feel like they should have the role that you have. They feel that people should look up to them as the person with experience and wisdom and stature, right? Because you're the Hierophant here, okay? People do look at you as someone who can guide them, you know, someone who has the wisdom and the experience to impart. People want to listen to you, right? Because of probably your eloquence, probably the way that you are able to convey your ideas, bring people together, bring people to a realization of some kind of obscure knowledge or, you know, just some insights into their own situation. I don't know, again, if you're just kind of a mentor to your younger family members, if you are maybe the head of the family and everybody is looking to you for guidance and wisdom. I I'm kind of getting this vibe that you're a literal teacher or instructor of something, okay, in a professional kind of setting. And I say that really because we have this Wheel of Fortune in the future, and we have the Earth cards over here that show that this is something that you do, as a profession, as a skill, as something that you are really spending your days intentionally working on. Okay, so it's not just a kind of a passive thing, maybe with family members. I feel like there's a larger setting here. Okay, leave me some comments. Let me know if I'm onto something with that. Okay, let me know if this is resonating with you. But this water person, they want things done their way because they think they know better. They think that they deserve everything that you have. Right? The recognition that you have, the appreciation that is shown to you. They want that. Right? So this Knight of Cups, usually this card is someone bringing you a gift, an offering. It could be a peace offering. It could be extending an olive branch. It could be a gift, a tribute. In this case, I think this person is actually trying to take. Okay? I think that they want that cup with the crab in there, they want that recognition that you have. They want the stature. They want the confidence. They want the authority that you seem to possess. And it may not be an intentional thing, but they're kind of trying to take that, right? And I think if you were to look back at some of these events over the last few months, maybe the last 6 months, maybe a year, I don't know, this could have been really going on for a while. I think you'll see that a lot of these strange events can all be explained because right around that time, this person was either coming in or out of the room, so to speak, right? I think we can kind of tie everything to this. Now, this could be an overbearing mother or father-in-law. This could be an older sibling who really just kind of wishes that they had the position that you seem to possess. Okay, but it does feel to me that there's a more professional setting here somewhere. Okay, but I think a lot of the confusion, a lot of the kind of weird, strange things from the past few months could be explained by this. Maybe water sign, maybe a Cancer person. Okay. The Lover's card here at the top. This is a very lovely card. This is your ability to bring people together, to connect with people, and to get other people to connect with each other. Right. So it's a very interesting work that you're doing, and I don't know exactly what to call it, because it's like you're connecting with other people, and I feel like you're teaching other people how to connect with other people, right? So you're creating this it's like a spiritual network almost, or maybe it has something to do with school or university, teaching other people knowledge and information and imparting wisdom, teaching them how to gain that for themselves as well, like teaching people how to learn, kind of, But I feel like there's a deeper component to that. There's something that goes along with this, is maybe some kind of holistic thing, some kind of self-help. Maybe you're like a motivational speaker. That would kind of make sense, right? Something along those lines, okay? And I really feel like you use your voice a lot, right? Because I'm getting this this image of just like a set of lungs, just like breathing like a bellows, like you're just maybe it's something musical, maybe you're a singer or something, but it's something with your voice, and that is a big part of this as well. And that is also probably part of what this water person is envious of. They wish they had what you have. They wish they had your gifts, your skills, Anyway, I'm very curious about that, about how you're using your voice in all of this. So I do hope you'll leave me some comments. In the immediate future, we see the Wheel of Fortune. So it seems to me this is something that you're doing as a profession, but as a passion as well. It's kind of like this is your purpose, And even if you're young, if you're in your later years, if you're maybe in retirement or wherever you are in life, I feel like this is your purpose. This is your work, right? It's kind of what you're meant to do. Even if you're maybe not doing it for money, or it's not an official employment or career or something. It's what your work is in life. And I think you have a very clear understanding of what your purpose is, what you were meant to be doing here. So there's a confidence in you, but there's a humility also, And I feel like in the next, maybe the next week or 10 days, I think that you're going to come to the realization, come to the awareness, you're going to really understand what has been happening with this person and the dynamic there. Now, I don't know if this is going to involve a discussion, if this is going to involve you just maybe letting them go, or how this will be resolved. But I feel like things are going to get better, okay? And it may just be that these things coming to awareness, that's like the first step to really making things better. Do you know what I mean? We have to first learn what's going on, and then we can decide how best to handle this, because things can't keep going the way they're going, all right? With the Wheel of Fortune here, the wheel is going to keep turning, okay? So we can either be just subject to this kind of thing continuously, or we could figure out what is kind of clogging up this wheel a little bit, right? There's like some mud on the axle. It's not really rolling smoothly. But this is some really big Jupiter energy too, okay? So I feel as if through your energy, through your style, through your kind of Hierophant lover's energy, you're going to resolve this in such a way that everyone is going to feel like they have won. Everybody is going to feel so much better through this. It could be that your relationship with this water person is kind of based on a misunderstanding, or it's based on some, like I said, jealousy, the envy that's there. But it could be easily resolved with an honest, but very open, very generous, very giving kind of conversation, It's that Jupiter energy. Then Jupiter's not a pushover, but Jupiter is very, very open to discussion, very open to the possibilities, very open to everybody kind of getting what they want, everybody feeling satisfied and fulfilled, right? So I think in the next 7 to 10 days, things will kind of become more clear to you, and you'll see this. Don't take my word for it. Watch for these things and see if you can think back to some of these moon experiences in the past and see for yourself if this is something that is true for you. Okay. Again, it could be a mother-in-law, father-in-law, something like that. And in either situation, if this is something at work or in your profession, in the work that you do, or if it's in your family, it's a very delicate situation. And we need that Jupiter energy. We need that very generous, very open, very welcoming kind of energy, right? Otherwise, we may just make a mess of things. And the reason why I'm harping on that Jupiter energy so much is because we go straight from that into this Six of Cups. Now, they're both circular formations. They're both kind of like these wheels. The Jupiter energy is very expansive, very trusting, has a lot of faith in other people, right? Is very, has open arms, right? It's ready to just give everybody a big hug, right? Wants everybody to feel better. Okay, this is the energy. That is the vibe that we need to keep in mind. This is the energy really being expressed to other people, outwardly into our lives. Okay, Six of Cups. And this is in the position of your general energy. So you're going into this from a position of love and abundance, of generosity, of care, of affection. Right? So whoever this person is, whatever their motivations are, it's almost like you're not angry, you know? And I think that is right in tune with your general vibe, with this Hierophant energy, with this Earth energy. It's very Taurian, but it's very, very Jupiter too, you know? You're not a pushover. You're not going to just lie down and roll over for anyone, but you're not harsh. You're not abrasive. You're not angry, right? You don't have that vibe. You're going to be firm, but you're going to be calm and gentle at the same time, right? So the Six of Cups is your general vibe of friendliness, of love, of abundance, of generosity, right? You're expressing that. And I think that is something that you've already learned. I don't think I'm telling you anything new. But the more you express that kind of vibe, the more you're going to get that vibe back. And that's why the Six of Cups is composed of a Three of Cups and a Three of Cups. When you go into a situation with love, with celebration, with generosity, with affection, with care and concern and compassion, chances are the situation is going to mirror that, right? It's going to resonate with that. You're going to bring out those qualities in other people, in other situations, in the environment, right? And again, I think you already know this because we have this, the Hierophant and that Lover's energy. I think you already know the power of our frequency, right? Whatever frequency you're vibrating at, you can probably reliably expect other people to vibrate with a similar frequency, right? If you go into a situation pessimistic, with anger, with animosity, right? Fuming, mad, that's what you're going to elicit from other people too. Most likely, right? And it's not guaranteed. But I think the cards are saying here, at least, it's much better to go into a situation with this loving Jupiter/water energy, to be open and to be receptive and to be welcoming and warm and kind and calm, but also confident and assertive, so that you have the best chances of eliciting that kind of energy from the other people, right? So that maybe that they will tune into that, and it'll be a much easier time. Now, the next two cards are these Earth cards. First is this Prince of Discs. This is in your environment. So this is really the work that you do. And this is kind of the professional conduct or communication. You know, this is maybe one attempt to have a formal conversation, or, you know, to send an email, or whatever the case is. But this doesn't really seem like it's your vibe, you know. It seems like you're more, you know, let's go out to lunch and let's talk about this. Let's get a little bit more personal and really connect, you know. But I think that you're in a very professional environment. So I think we have to be careful how personal we get right away, you know, or what kind of tactics we use at the very beginning. It may be we start with a professional kind of conversation and see where that leads, and maybe we can get a little bit more personal, a little bit more friendly as things go on, and try to connect with that person in that manner, you know. Because even if this is a family thing, I feel like you're in a situation with family, could be in-laws, right? You're in a situation where this kind of friendly, personal, emotional kind of conversation, right? The kind of Jupiter/water vibe is not really something that they do, right? They're maybe a little bit more formal, a little bit more suit and tie kind of thing, you know? It could be a family that doesn't really sit down and share their feelings. They would be very uncomfortable if it was just this, let's sit down and hold hands and talk this thing through. It doesn't seem like that's how they go. They're a little bit more practical, a little bit more just down to business, right? A little bit more formal. So we have to be careful what kind of tactics we use. And if this is at the workplace, in a professional setting, there might be certain processes and procedures. Things have to be done in a professional, in a specific kind of way, you know. So I think we have to be careful how personal we get at the beginning when we're dealing with this situation. Now the next card is the Princess of Discs. You really want everyone to have the best outcome, right? You want this person to really get to the bottom. Why do they feel the way they do? Why are they acting the way they're acting? Why are they trying to kind of subvert your will and your plans and your responsibilities, right? Your directives and things. You want everybody to really have the best possible future, and that really goes with this Lovers, with this Hierophant energy, and with the Jupiter and with the water. You're in a very good place in your life. You're in a good place mentally, emotionally, spiritually, in your physical environment. You're really in a good spot, right? And I think you've worked hard to get where you are and to get the balance of energy that you have. And I think that you love what you do. Again, even if you're in retirement and this is your passion, I think it's always been your passion, even when you were doing it, professionally or, doing it as a job, as a career. You really love what you do. And you want everyone to love what they do, right? It's almost like you've got a sign on your office door that says, no bad vibes, right? And if this person's bringing in some bad vibes, you want to get to the bottom of it. You want to help them through it. You want to, help them to resolve this so that they can have the good frequency too, like you have, And this is a real concern for other people. This is a real love for other people. You are happy when you see other people happy, You are happy when you see other people doing what they love to do, right? And fulfilling their desires, their will, their passion. Living the dream kind of thing. That makes you happy. And so to have this situation and to have this realization that this person has been doing these kinds of things in this kind of sneaky way, well, it's almost a little bit heartbreaking, The final card we see on the path of the Serpent is the Nine of Wands. This is I'm glad we have some fire energy here. Because we don't want to be too passive in this. We don't want to be too welcoming. We don't want to be too accepting, right? Because that will kind of push us over this edge of being kind of a pushover, of kind of just lying down and rolling over on things. Because we have a lot of the water, we've got a lot of the earth energy. It's a lot of passive energy here. There's a lot of yielding energy. A lot of kind of magnetic. We're accepting everything into our lives. We're taking everything in. We're taking everything on. Other people's problems, other people's burdens, those are becoming ours. We're water. We're absorbing everything. We're absorbing everything, So we need a little bit of fire. And this is just the connection between that watery nature. We're absorbing everything. We also have to have that fire that says, I need to preserve myself when this becomes too much. I need to know when to say when. I need to know when to kind of, evoke this force and fire and put a stop to things, to have boundaries, right? To be committed to everything that I'm doing, my vibe, my frequency, my love, my concern for people, my compassion. But you also need to have that love and concern and compassion for yourself. And this Nine of Wands is saying that you need to know when to say when. You need to know when enough is enough. And this is a rational kind of oversight to all of your lunar energy, your heart, your love, your water energy. Needs a little bit of clarity, needs a little bit of the sunlight and the authority to just say, okay, we need to kind of tone it down a little bit. You can't take on everything from everyone, you know? So I think this is a little bit of self-preservation. This is a little bit of boundaries, right? Because it might be easy for you to see this person and what they're doing and just say, it's okay, you know, let's hug it out. And you know, it could lead to them doing it more. They feel enabled, right? I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but if we're too accepting, if we take everything into us, then people think that they can step over these boundaries because they don't know where the boundaries are. So the Nine of Wands is maybe thinking about establishing some boundaries, right? Especially in the relationship with this person. I think they need to know that there are boundaries. If this is a professional situation, if this is a personal, private situation, they need to know that you're capable of having boundaries. I think that's very important. We're going to look at the mystery card now. I'm very, very curious what this is going to be. I would like to see either some more fire or some air energy. Okay. I'm not going to try to predict what this card is. I would rather be surprised, I think. You know, lately I've been pretty accurate on predicting this card, but I don't want to really try so often to do that because I like to be surprised. I like it to be spontaneous. You know, we could probably go through these cards one more time and figure out what this is going to be, but I'd rather just have the revelation, you know, for myself. But I'm thinking fire or air here. Yeah, we've got a Five of Swords. That's some air energy, okay? The Five of Swords. Now, this is interesting because the keyword for this card is defeat, right? This is an intellectual, a formal conversation. This is a discussion wherein someone has to lose, right? This is not the same kind of air that we see with the Lover's card. This is the Gemini card. That is the connection, win-win. Everybody is just, we're becoming one force, and it's just, you know, it's unity. This is the Five. This is going to separate things. This is going to create us and them. This is going to have a winner and a loser, okay? And this is going to have, well, ultimately there's no winner, right? Because even if you were to win, even if you were to, you know, write the letter or, you know, report them to the management, or if you were to, I don't know if this is a private personal situation, if you were to, you know, let your kids know what's going on, or whoever you would have to, you know, you're not going to feel like that's a win, you know. The only way for you to win, I think, is to have this kind of a union, to have a real connection, to really bond with this person. Now, I'm not saying the two of you are going to be best friends, two of you aren't going to get married, but to have an understanding of each other, to really connect, to really reach each other, right? Even if you really don't like each other, that's okay. But to get to the bottom of things, to really have that connection, that's a win for you. It'd be a win for them. But if we go this more formal route, this discussion, this kind of professional, you know, reprimand or something, that's not going to be a win. Even if they are asked nicely to stop what they're doing, or there will be consequences, right? They can get fired or whatever. They may stop doing what they're doing, but that's not a win for you. It's not a win for you when somebody else has to lose, right? And that is part of Now, that's kind of a complicated thing because on the one hand, we need to have boundaries. We can't always put ourselves in a losing position just so somebody else doesn't have to lose, right? And I feel that's kind of the fine line that we're walking here. Because you want it to be a win-win for everybody, but are you putting yourself first? If it really comes down to a choice, are you willing to be the loser so somebody else can win? So in some ways, this Five of Swords is suggesting that maybe you're not going to do anything. That you don't want to call this person out, you don't want to bring attention to it, you don't want to make it known because of the detriment to them. Okay? But on the other hand, we're creating boundaries. We have this Nine of Wands. So yes, you want everybody to win. You want everybody to have the perfect, successful outcome in any situation. But if it really comes down to it, you're going to turn this card. It doesn't work so well when I'm doing it with the Antique Anatomy, but turning the Five upside down is putting yourself back in the winning position, right? We can't always put ourselves in the losing position or put ourselves in the background, right? That's still a lot of this kind of passive water energy where we're accepting everything into us to relieve someone else of their burden, of their suffering. And that's a very noble thing. That's very admirable. But we need a little bit of fire here so that you're not doing a disservice to yourself thereby. Okay? So the Five of Swords ultimately here is telling me that, look, there's going to be a winner and a loser here. Either you're going to allow them to continue doing what they're doing and interfering with your will, with your business, with your teaching, or whatever it is, undermining you really at every opportunity. Or you're going to take the necessary steps to bring some resolution to this situation so that you can be free to pursue your work and do your will and experience your life the way that you are trying to do. So there's going to be a winner and a loser here, You can try to make it close to this ideal as possible, as close to a union, a real bonding, a real connection, a win-win kind of thing. You can try as you like, but there will ultimately be a winner and a loser. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. We're going to do an extended reading for you here in just a moment. If you would like to check out the extended, just click on the link right here. Then you'll have access to all of the extended readings for all the signs, not just for Scorpio, but for every sign. This was your weekly reading, Scorpio, here on Dove and Serpent Tarot, and I want to thank you so much for letting me read for you.